Well, good morning everybody. And it is a very early morning. You find me today on my way to Fewston Reservoir, way up on the moors. And I'm here because the rivers are pretty much unfishable, as you will have seen from the video I posted yesterday. So until we get some decent rain, I think the rivers are really just not worth fishing. It's just not fair on the fish. They're pretty much unfishable. So I've come to Fewston. It's still water. It's a stocked fishery, so there are no real ethical issues of catching fish in warm water. It's stocked with rainbow trout. There are some wild brown trout in here and some little perch as well. It's a beautiful place. We're just about to see the water for the first time. I'm hoping I'm going to turn this corner, look over the lip and find a reservoir full of rising, feeding fish. I'm having my very first look and that doesn't appear to be the case. But not to worry. I brought two rods with me today. There's a 10-foot 7-weight and a 10-foot 5-weight. And one of them I'll use to pull some streamers. And the other one I'll use probably with a nymph or something like that. And if I see any rising fish, I can quickly convert that to fishing a dry fly. The reservoir looks very, very low. Goodness me, I wasn't really expecting that. I know we've had a lot of heat, but it's lower than I expected. I'm going to start over by the reservoir wall because that's where the deeper water is, and that's really where I expect the fish to be. I don't think they're going to be in the margins, given how warm the water is at the moment. I expect they're going to be sitting somewhere deeper, so I've got sinking lines on, sinking tips on, to try and get my flies low down to where I think the fish are probably going to be. Okay, so to give you a little idea of how low the reservoir currently is, this spot where I'm currently standing is probably where I caught the last fish I caught when I fished at Fewston. I probably caught it somewhere around here, perhaps even there. And as you can see, the water is way down there. Okay, so it looks like we've got our first little fish, and it is a very beautiful little perch. Okay, so we've not blanked. That's good. It's not quite the 5-pound rainbow trout I was hoping for, but it's a very pretty fish nonetheless. I'm sort of feeling, oh, there we go. Looks like our second fish of the day in consecutive casts, and it looks like we just caught his little brother. Okay, a small fish on here. It feels like another perch. Let's have a little look, and it is. So, within a very short period of time, that's our third perch. I have wandered out a little bit deeper. Pretty fish. I've wandered out a little bit deeper to try and avoid those fellows, but they're pretty persistent. And another little perch. Here he comes. So I think we're probably going to have to change tactics in some way, or we're just going to catch little fellas like this all day, which, whilst they're extremely beautiful, they're not actually what we came here for. So I'm going to persist with this for a small while longer, seeing as I've got this fly on. But I'm wondering about, as the surface is so still, I might put something on a surface lure. Could be a mistake. I suspect the trout are probably deep down, but if they see something moving along the surface that looks to be in distress, they might feel like coming up and having a bash. And the perch probably won't. So that might be the next plan. Stick a booby on or something like that that'll cause a bit of... Ah, there's a fish, that feels better. I think it's still a perch. It's another perch, slightly bigger than the last one. In fact, that's quite a pretty perch. Let's have a little look at it. Oh, there we go, look. Let's have a little look. There's a pretty fish. Oh, beautiful, with his fins up for us, displaying for the camera. So I think if we carry on like this, we're clearly just going to catch perch after perch. And that's not necessarily really what we're here for. So what to do? Stick a booby on. Okay, so we've got this booby on now, which will do some surface disturbing, and hopefully it will deter the pesky but beautiful little perch. I'm not sure this is going to work. I suspect that the trout are way out there, deep down, keeping away from the heat at the moment. I don't think they're going to be patrolling in the margins. But if we keep on with the streamer, we're just going to catch perch. So let's give this a little go. See if there are some trout in the cool of the morning, doing a bit of patrolling. And this booby is going to work. I've got a sinking tip on, so the sinking tip is going to pull the booby down as I draw, and as I stop drawing it's going to rise to the surface, hopefully create a little disturbance as it pops up, and that's the kind of thing that might just catch the eye of a patrolling, hungry rainbow trout. That's the plan. So we're going to give it a little tug every now and again, just create that disturbance. I've only fished with boobies a couple of times. I don't really fish still waters very much, so I'm not an expert, but it is wildly exciting because the fish come flying up and absolutely smash them on the surface. So it's dead exciting when you do get a take. Right, I think we've got a take then, but that was a perch. So my idea that the perch wouldn't come and take, I think, might not work. Oh, well, anyone got a plan C? So I've sort of waded out a little bit into this fairly shallow bay. Oh, I've got another fish on. Probably another perch, I imagine, given the way it's fighting. Let's have a little look. Oh, it is. It's an angry perch with his fin up. What a handsome fish. Handsome, handsome fish. Let's get you back, fellow. There he goes. Chances are we'll probably catch him again in about 2 minutes. Another small fish. I wonder what this could be. No way, it's a perch. No way. Look at that, he's an angry little fellow. Angry little man. Okay, so I've just seen the first fish of the whole day come up that looked like a trout. And it came up over there. So, I'm putting my lure through it. I've got a fish on, but it's almost certainly a little tiny wriggly perch. Little wriggly perch. There he is. Oh, and he's off. Self-release. That's a bit annoying, so I actually saw the first trout of the day. And any chance of catching it was intercepted by Mr. Perch. Get a big cast out there over where that fish moved, and I'll give it another go. Bring it in fast, keep it sort of near the surface. And that's another fish on, that's another perch. There we go. Let's have a look. Another pretty perch, eating a pretty perch pattern. Completely cannibalistic, these guys. Don't seem to care very much for their fellow man. They seem to spend all day busily swimming around eating each other. Okay, so we've got a little moment of relative calm. The wind's just dropped. So what I've done is I've put on a big booby, something that's going to disturb the surface, and all that's done is linked us straight into, you guessed it, a perch. It just sort of seems that no matter what I do today, we're just going to catch angry looking perch. Just angry perch today. That's another fish and that's another perch. So the perch, like the booby, look at that. That little perch is almost, I mean, it's hardly as big as the lure itself. It's just astonishing. Beautiful, not what we're after. I've put a nymph on, which I've been casting as far as I possibly can to get it as deep as I can into the coldest water that I can. And I've been letting it sink and then retrieving it fairly slowly. So in an attempt for it not to attract the attention of the perch. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked. The perch are still chasing the nymph. So I've caught perch on nymph, I've caught perch on heavy streamers, I've caught perch on boobies. I've caught perch no matter what I've done and no matter where I've fished in the reservoir. The one thing I haven't caught, here's another one. The one thing I haven't caught is a trout. I know there are good fish in here because I've caught good fish in here, good fighting fish. On its day, this can be a fantastic place to fish. And when they're rising, it can be really, really exciting, especially at last light. But that's not the case today. They're not rising, they're not in the margins, they're not cruising. They're somewhere out there, hugging the bottom, trying to keep cool, trying to keep away from the warm water that I'm currently standing in. But anyway, it's been a lovely morning out in nature. Met a couple of mates on the bank, caught some pretty fish, and I think I'm going to make this my very last cast of the day, and then I'm going to get myself home for my breakfast. Okay, so that's me for the day. It's been an enjoyable session, it's been an enjoyable morning. Didn't quite get the rainbow trout that we were hoping for, but I suspect that they are somewhere out there, probably 100 feet out and maybe about 30 or 40 feet down, keeping nice and cool somewhere close to the bottom. But we managed to catch a few perch, caught them on nymphs, caught them on streamers, caught them on boobies, caught them on whatever we did, caught them on the top, caught them on the bottom, caught them on fast retrieves, caught them on slow retrieves. Caught perch whether we wanted to or whether we didn't want to. Anyway, it's been an enjoyable morning. Thanks for coming with me. Hope you're getting some fishing in these difficult times, and I hope you'll come out with me next time. Tight lines.